Hello and welcome. My name is Jean, and today we're going to move ourselves through a seated flow, taking some time just to be with your body in a space. No expectations except for letting yourself observe those inner workings and how the inner workings help to shape the outer movements. So, to get this idea ingrained in the brain, we'll start off in a seat, somewhere along the center of your mat, whether the legs are crossed beneath you, out in front, or in a straddle. Sit bones are connected to the earth. Maybe you waddle side to side a little bit, allowing that rocking motion to really feel you contacted on the ground. All the while, your lungs are taking in air with each inhale. Perhaps you pause when the lungs are full, just really feeling all of that life force gathered within you. And when you're ready, breathing that air out through the nose or with a sigh through the mouth, even a yawn, whatever feels good. As you are starting to ascertain the nature of your breathing, observe if you're holding any tension in the body. Whether the shoulders feel like they're slouched forward some, whether you feel like your neck is just needing a little bit of softness. You can even lengthen the crown of your head to the sky, drop the chin down to the chest for a breath or two. And then releasing the neck back behind you after you've allowed that moment. Feeling the front of your throat expand. Just doing that back and forth nodding with the head holding chin to chest for a breath. And then releasing the neck again behind you, holding that release for a breath. As the neck returns to center, the shoulders drop away from the ears. Connect with that lift in your heart. This is your seat. And it's in this seat that if you have an intention, a sankalpa that you want to move with this practice, breathe it in, allow it to sit within your body, and then breathe out that intention as it has taken time to be in your body. Now you can embody it with each breath and each bit of mindful movement that you make. So as mentioned, we'll be moving through a couple of twists, mostly staying in a seat this practice. I offer for you an intention of remembering that baseline point. You think about if you've ever thrown a boomerang or any kind of visual with boomerang tossing. You take that moment, decide the trajectory of that boomerang throw, and then you release the boomerang as it makes that loop, that circle. It comes back to you. We'll be bringing that same concept today. The twists, the extensions are all like your boomerang toss, but everything brings you back to that central point, that origin place. To start creating this concept in the body, we'll take a moment and do some seated cat-cows. So, whichever shape you've chosen, breathe in through the nose just to open your chest upward, Gaze rises. And then as you breathe out, hollowing the rib cage, dropping the chin towards your tailbone, nice round spine. Inhale again, heart opens, chest opens, gaze rises. And then digging into the sit bones as you exhale, soften the heart. Nice. Take 3 more for yourself. Each time you pass through center is like tossing the boomerang out only to have it return to you. Inhale, tossing it. Exhale, it returns as you then toss it again. 1 more. Nice. Now building off of this, we'll take another inhale. Another cat, cow.
Held we are in just this.
Nice. And then this time, inhale. You're going to hold this cow shape in the body, feeling that open chest. Exhale, holding here. 1 more inhale.
I lay everything down.
And then now exhale, everything comes together in that cat shape. Now we're holding this hollow spine for a breath, so breathe in. And then breathe out. Nice. 1 more breath. And then as you inhale, you're pressing into the spine, those sit bones back to your center. Breathing out. First, easy twist, engaging with your rib cage as the left hand finds your right leg. Right hand makes that kickstand behind the hip. Now, just like before, your sit bones are your origin point. And if you want to toss the boomerang out a little further, opening that right arm to the space behind you, think of inhaling, lifting in the heart again, much like your cow shape. And then exhale, deepening your twist, looking further over your right shoulder. Maybe your gaze, your drishti meets that right hand. Two more breaths here. Just listening to how your breathing is adapting to this shape. Spine is long, lung capacity is recognized. Nice. Now breathing in, reaching back, looking back a little bit further. And then on your exhale, undo the twist in your ribs as you reach your right hand to the top of your mat. Left hand stacks on top of it. Elbows will bend softly toward the ground, just taking a seated fold here. Now really feeling the back of your spine, that big old spreading of wings, almost like your shoulder blades are widening away from each other as you sink a little bit deeper into your fold. You're looking for that expansion. You're wanting to feel how the back just widens itself like a mountain range. The shoulder blades, the shoulders themselves are almost like those jagged peaks, creating the horizon, that outline of your spinal form. Last couple breaths here. Good job. So taking a breath in very, very gently, you are walking the hands back to the center of your body. And at that neutral point in the spine, exhale, take your twist to the left now. Right hand is guided to the left leg. Left hand makes that kickstand. behind the left hip. Breathe. As with your other variations of a seated twist, think of the tailbone of your spine like the base of a spiral staircase. All of your body is then shaping itself to match, finding that sense of alignment in your twist as you take 4 more breaths and reaching that left hand back to the wall as you feel comfortable. Good work. Last breath here. For when you're ready, take that breath in through the nose, reach back, look back a little bit further. And on the exhale, the twist is undone from the ribs. All the while, the left hand reaches to the top of your mat. Right hand then places on top of the left. Take that seated fold, bend the elbows. Now the elbows don't have to touch the ground. It's more just getting a quality of this particular fold. You're even welcome to extend the arms, lengthen them. That might create a different sensation for you. But just comparing what happens when you bend the elbows versus when you lengthen in the arms. Taking just another 5 breaths here. Great job. Last breath. Now this time as you inhale, the hands walk back into the body. When you feel yourself come back to that neutral, raise the arms up to the sky, however you wish. And just taking a cactus pose, exhale, bending the elbows softly. Just feeling that extra bit of stirring in your pectoral muscles from both your seated twist and from that specific quality in your forward folds. What is your Anahata chakra, your heart space, telling you? That region is green. Connect with that evergreen. Always full of vitality, always full of love. Always nice when you have those outer world impressions, those sounds of the world in motion. I'm always grateful when they happen, even during this kind of a class setting, as it's a reminder that everything is happening all around you, but you're making time for yourself in this moment. 3 more breaths in cactus pose. Arms are nice and expressive with the fingertips. Shoulder blades are getting a good little reach down toward the mat. Nice job. When you're ready, breathe in, reaching the arms back up overhead, gathering them together. And then bending at the forearms as you shift back. Sit bones are on the mat. Soles of the feet are now on the mat. Legs uncurled. Take a breath in here. And then as you breathe out, opening the knees to your sides, butterfly pose, Baddha Konasana. Take that moment, checking in on the soles of your feet, pressing the feet together. Now, the knees don't have to touch the ground. However, you're always welcome to take some blocks with you and set them underneath the knees for that added support and comfort. Holding here just for a couple moments. Connect with what you're feeling in your heart center. Even moving up toward the shoulders, toward the throat space. While not necessarily a target region for this practice today, some of the movements you've moved through so far have been particularly focused, guided, leaned into with those areas. This is your moment to just recalibrate your boomerang tossing. And coming back to the origin point of your breath. Four more breaths here. Good job. So taking your inhale, you're just going to help the knees come back to center nice and gently. And once the knees gather, exhale, extend the legs, Dandasana, staff pose. Feel free to have the blocks nearby. And if you have a blanket in your space, you can roll the blanket up, set it underneath the knees for a protected micro bend. Always your choice, whether you want that there or whether you feel just fine as you are. Taking 2 breaths in Dandasana, chest is lifted, palms of the hands are against the sides of your hips, with the arms nice and lengthened like you're pressing into the earth with your hands. Nice active staff pose, 1 more breath. Good job. So, building off of this, we'll inhale, raise the arms upward to meet the sun. And then Paschimottanasana, that intense Western stretch. Exhale, just hinging from the hips, folding forward. Take some time, check in with the back of the skull. Always a place that might hold some tension to a degree. Remember that you can always relax the neck, tucking the chin closer to your chest. Feel free to take the hands to the quadriceps, to your shins. Yogi peace fingers can always wrap around your big toes. Place the thumb on top for a toe lock. And just like those seated forward folds that you did earlier, you can always bend the elbows, creating a different quality in your fold. Or just extend the arms. Nice active fold. 3 more breaths. Paschimottanasana. Intense Western stretch. Good work. Taking an inhale, the hands on the legs or to the sides. Walking back up to staff pose. And then exhale, we'll start by bending the right knee in toward the body. From here, you're stepping that right foot over the left leg, and then opening that right knee out to the side for a figure 4 in your legs. From here, you're very gently going to shift back on your sit bones, bending that left knee. Sole of the foot touches the ground. This is a seated pigeon that you're in. And then making sure you've got some space to the left side of your mat. Breathe in. Palms of the hands come back behind you. As you exhale, dropping your legs to that left side. Breathe. Fingertips facing the top of the mat. Feel free to take a little bitty twist in the ribs, that neck. Think of keeping your sacrum facing that center point of your mat, as it's more your upper body that's doing the twisting for you. Breathing here. Get a nice little release in your lower back as we hold for just 2 more breaths. Good job. Now pressing into your palms, inhale, legs come back to center. And then exhale, shifting your body weight forward, pressing into your sit bones, half fire log, breathe in again. And then from half fire log, just taking another fold, reaching that left hand toward the left foot. Holding here for 5 breaths. Now we're getting a combination of things here. You feel that stretch all throughout the left leg. All the while your external hip rotation is being stimulated by that right knee with the right leg out in that figure 4 shape. From here, it's just your personal preferences, the qualities that you like in your fold. Elbow bent, arm extended. We'll take just another 3 more breaths here. Great work. When you're ready, take that inhale. We're just walking the hands back to the center of your body. And then softly bending that left knee. It's just to help the right ankle have some space to lift off. Stretch that right leg out in front. Good job. From here, taking a breath in through the nose again. And then exhale. You're bending the left knee now. Left foot finds the mat. From there, stepping that left foot over right, just so that you can have that left knee open, figure 4. From here, palms of the hands come back behind you, breathe in, and then breathe out, bending that right knee, right foot finds the mat. Same thing, taking that seated pigeon twist, breathe in, make sure the space is clear, and then breathe out, tipping your legs to the right side. Now, you don't have to have these points that outside of your right leg and sole of your left foot. They don't have to touch the ground, but if you want them to, feel free. And again, upper body takes that gentle little twist as a variation, looking over your left shoulder. Just kind of playing with a couple familiar shapes and seeing what that does in your body. What are you feeling here? I must have quite a bit of tension myself in this side, as remembering that any open mouth exhales are always great to actively release any stiffness, any discomfort. Just settling in, surrendering for 3 more breaths. All the while you're feeling that open heart space, much like you would in a reclined twist. Connect with that golden warmth of the sun, whether you have a building covering your space or whether you found some outside point. Nice job. So taking that breath in, you are helping your legs come back to center, rolling back to your right foot, and then shifting the body weight forward. Exhale just to extend that right leg. From here, breathing in, lengthening your spine again. And then from here, exhale, hinging forward or hollowing in that rib space. Half square fold. You may also hear this shape referred to as a half fire log. Mostly just depends on the modality, the speed of things, and how much tapas or heat you are moving with. So this side of half fire log is meant to be the gateway to your savasana today. How are you feeling here? What have you carried with you from these few twists and extensions? Three more breaths. Good work. So taking an inhale, you're very gently walking the hands back to your center. And then shifting back, lifting that right knee up just a little bit. You're giving some leverage to help the left leg extend, shake the legs out. Feel free to drink some water if you have some water in your space. So moving into the final posture of your practice today, I'll offer for you an alternative savasana. You can take whatever form feels good for you. But if you'd like to try that alternative shape today, feel free to have the blanket toward the top of your mat. And then from there, sitting back on either side, left or right, you're just sending the legs out in front of you and dropping down to your abdomen, using that blanket as a little pillow for your chin. Give yourself a moment. Maybe you rock the ankles side to side if you're doing this reverse corpse pose. And as ever, you're welcome to keep the chin on your blanket, or if you have a favorite side, it's all just getting comfortable for yourself. Whatever savasana shape you've chosen today, come back to a sense of gratitude for your practice. This is the time where you've done an extensive period of boomerang tossing today, moving through some twists, moving through some extensions from a seat. That seat is your origin, your baseline place. But how did it feel to toss the boomerang out into the distance a few times? What did your extensions have to tell about your body today? Just a few things to think about. As you recall your breath and your heartbeat, leave behind any tension you might have felt this practice. And finally, when you feel like you've settled in, encourage that total surrender of yourself to the divine workings of your internal ecosystem. Your breathing, your heartbeat, how they come together to create the person on your mat at this moment, alongside a bunch of other cycles and systems. Savasana. Enjoy it, y'all. Thank you for everything that you do on and off of your mats. I'll bring you back shortly when it's time for us to depart. and starting to bring some awareness back to yourself as the time has come to guide yourself back to this plane. A much softer boomerang tossed in nature, as the origin point creates a breath, a deep inhale through the nose, gathering up of air in the lungs. If you're on your abdomen, maybe observing how that quality of breath feels with your abdomen so close to the earth. And then breathing out through the nose, sighing through the mouth, maybe even taking a nice stretch through the limbs. Fingertips and toes wiggle, wrists and ankles circle and tip. But as mentioned, it's your body, your space, your practice. So make any movements for yourself that honor and strengthen your tether back to this corporeal plane. Now you are more than welcome to end your practice in this oh-so-comfy Savasana shape that you conjured for yourself. Maybe it feels more familiar, more organic, to meet me in a seat of your choosing. So how you find your way there is entirely your choice. Just being mindful and compassionate to the practice that you've given yourself today. The arms, the legs, and the eyes sealing your time here in a way that resonates with you. And while today's practice has been interspersed with a lot of boomerang imagery, come back to that intention, that sankalpa you moved with today. For much like tossing a boomerang out into the world, you do the same thing with your intentions, with your focus. Sometimes it finds a place to reside, manifesting into what you want it to be. And sometimes, like a boomerang, that intention comes right back to you. It's in the return that you find the opportunity to learn, to fine-tune, maybe even to vary the quality of that intention, so that when you're ready to toss it back out into the world again, you have wisdom, you have clarity, you have sense of self. So lean into the learnings, lean into the teachings, and lean into the musings of what your boomerang intention will give you today. As ever, it has been my humble, happy honor to have shared space with you today, as you have shared space with me. May you always live this life in your own authentic way, bringing forth your signature shine and radiance to this beautiful planet we share. The luminosity in me cherishes, respects, and will always celebrate the luminous, blooming heart in you. Shanti. Namaste. Thanks as always for making time for yourselves, no matter what day, week, month, lunar cycle, season, or any measurement of time you adhere to. Until we meet each other on our mats again, thank you so much for spending a part of your day with me. I hope that you take whatever you need to from this practice. And remember, you are one of a kind, and you give so much to this world. May your boomerang intentions fly true now and always. Namaste.